Star. Okay, welcome to Starcraft's logs. Yes, not vlogs anymore, because I'm not going to get myself a webcam for some time now. And that's just how it is. Okay, so a more serious sort of a vid today. Not goofing around with anyone from the YWC, having any guests on. Just going to talk about something that happened yesterday. And yeah, I have no idea if anyone would ever be interested. Otherwise, I would have talked about this earlier, because I have some experience when it comes to these. And what I'm talking about is earthquakes. So yesterday, I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on my day off, Sunday. I was online in a party chat with the missus, and all of a sudden, I hear the sound that I know all too well, because as soon as I heard this particular sound, the best way to describe it is like gale force winds hitting the side of your house, but much deeper sounding, if that makes sense. And then, of course, the ground started to shake. Telly started to shake in front of me. And this caught me off guard. I have to say, it caught me off guard. And it got me standing up because my bed was really bouncing. So I was like, damn. Stood up. And yeah, it caught me off guard. So I started going, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? What? What the fuck? Because this made no sense to me. And I'll explain why in a minute. So yeah, the house is shaking. And yeah, housemate who hasn't felt any big earthquakes, like, well, many big earthquakes. He's up in the hallway going, shit, come here, come here, come here. And I was like, no, not yet, not yet. Because it started to build in intensity, you see, and shake for quite some time. How long did it shake for? I don't even know. Maybe 20 seconds. Doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're going through that, it is actually quite a long time. So, I grabbed onto my telly, stop it from shaking, shaking apart, falling down, and rode out the earthquake. Then a couple minutes later, a few aftershocks happened. And yeah, a lot of people were now talking about wanting to leave, right? Oh, I see statuses on Facebook, and I didn't realize how big this quake was. I thought it was around magnitude 5.3. That was my guess. Magnitude 5.3, centered under the city, at a reasonably shallow depth. That was my guess. I wasn't far off. It was a 5.7, just out at sea, and reasonably deep, fortunately. About 30 kilometers, so about 18 miles down, for those of you on Imperial. So, yeah, it's pretty decent earthquake. Pretty severe. Well, it's described as severe, but it's not the biggest I've ever felt. Not even close. So people were talking about leaving town and shit, and people were freaking out, and I'm just really surprised. And even though, admittedly, I was caught off guard by it, I was back to doing what I was doing within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes. Easily, like, just straight back onto the PlayStation again, but check Facebook, because it took a while, because people from Australia and other countries are like, you okay? So they heard about it overseas. So I was like, damn, it can't be only a 5.3. They first told us it was 5.9, then it got downgraded to 5.7. So pretty decent earthquake. I probably should have got under the door if there's one that big, but I didn't. So in my lifetime, it's quite ironic that this week is the 5 years since the anniversary of the February earthquake in 2011 that killed 188 people and maimed like 10,000 people, injured a lot of people, destroyed 20,000 homes or something, a shitload of homes, damaged 100% of the city, wrote the central business district off completely. It all got demolished. The horizontal infrastructure, for those of you who have no idea what the fuck that is, the horizontal infrastructure is your stormwater, your sewage, your waterways, pipeworks. So you're going to have to dig every road up to fix that. So that's all fucked. And the roads themselves are fucked. So yeah, I got that 5 years ago. I learned about what a natural disaster is. And yeah, people were freaking out on the radio I heard today. I listened to it about half an hour ago, actually. That's what prompted me to do this. And they're like, oh, no, I don't like it here. Oh, I didn't get good sleep. Oh, let me tell you this. I slept like a baby. That was nothing yesterday, to be honest. The first earthquake, that was powerful, but the rest of them were nothing. Because there's like maybe 40 aftershocks, 30 aftershocks, something like that. Not very much. Let me tell you this. The one that killed people, that happened at lunchtime, just after lunch, 10 to 1 in the afternoon. And in the next 10 hours, we had 277 earthquakes. 277. Yeah. And they were intimidating and they were shallow. A couple of them were right on the surface, within like meters, feet of the actual surface of the earth. And they were violent and shook for way longer. I tell you that. That night, I got woken up like 10 times. But yeah. Honestly, if anyone from Christchurch ever comes across this, can you just stop? Be outraged about something worth being outraged about, like the insurance companies ripping off other people, etc., not paying you out for premiums that you've been paying for years. You should be worrying about that. You can't do fuck all about the earthquakes, and simply crying and leaving town won't do anything. I tell you why. Because this was called the Shaky Isles by the British. The British came here in the late 1800s and said, this is the Shaky Isles. So get the fuck over it. Okay, nowhere in this country are you safe from earthquakes. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, getting back to February 22nd, that's coming up next week. And yeah, 5 years on, and we get that wee reminder. So just wanted to talk about that because it was quite random. I hadn't felt an earthquake before yesterday since the 15th of January 2012, because it started on September 4th, 2010 and carried on until 15th of January 2012. So it's quite a long time. And like, that's a long time to be deprived of sleep. Believe that. And to not have a toilet. Yeah. And so just watch yourselves out there, eh? Like, anyone watching this video, here's what you should do if you're involved in a major earthquake. Okay, I felt one as big as magnitude 7.1. I felt an earthquake that was so powerful that the ground movement has never ever been recorded at 2.5 times the force of gravity. It's the most powerful ground movement from an earthquake ever recorded. But what? There's fucking 9s and one in Japan. Yeah, that was a bigger earthquake, but it was down on the continental fault line. The fault line that gave us these ones, they're near the surface, and they're cracks in the Pacific plate where it's sinking underneath the Australian plate and pushing up against it. And I better end this vlog in a minute. But okay. If you're in an old school house, get the fuck into your internal hallway, okay? Get under the door frame and hold on to that. Stay away from the windows. Do not use a cell phone, okay? That's useless. Even civil defense are trying to tell us to use cell phones. Trust me from experience, people. I don't have an agenda. I don't work for the government, okay? I don't work for anyone. Get a landline phone that you can plug into a phone jack, and that will work. That will work, unless you get one that's so massive that it somehow screws that infrastructure. And if that happens, you're probably going to have to evacuate the entire area anyway. If you're coastal and it's big, get the fuck away from the sea. Get to high ground, because quite often reports are conflicting and unconfirmed. And by the time you may get the information you need, it will be too late. If you feel a big earthquake, get under that doorway, get away from the windows, and be vigilant. Think about what's around you and just stay calm. Those are the best things you can do in an earthquake. And if you've got natural disasters in your area, you should have fucking water, gas bottle, gas cooker, some fucking food. And they say 3 days, but stock up for a week. And yeah, she'll be right. Don't freak out. Whatever you do, do not panic, because that is contagious. All right? especially if you're a man. If you're a man, you have no excuse to lose your shit during an earthquake or anything like that. You got to fucking lead by example. All right? You got to do it for the children. There you go. I got a wee wrestling joke in there. But yeah, seriously, it's kind of ominous. And if there was going to be a fuckload of aftershocks like there were, this is the earthquake yesterday now, back to that. If it was like February 22nd, right, I would have set up my cell phone camera and just recorded like the amount of aftershocks we were getting. And you guys could have witnessed that and heard it and shit. But unfortunately, but hey, who knows? Maybe we'll get a 6 tomorrow. Hopefully not. I don't need round 5. I've had 4 rounds of that and I've had enough. Anyway, that's my vlog. That's my special little vlog. I might talk more about February 22nd next week. And shout outs to my mate in Australia, because I know at least he'll watch this. All right? Okay? Thank you.